Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jennifer Diamond, and if you haven't been here before, welcome. I live a whole food, plant-exclusive, sos-free, gluten-free lifestyle for health and well-being. And it gave me my life back. It truly did, and I know it can benefit you as well. And so today I thought I would bring you along with me while I make some cornmeal muffins. I am going to be heading over to it's not an official potluck, but potluck people are gathering, and one of the things I'm going to bring is cornmeal muffins. And so I have everything already set out here, and so the first thing I'm going to do is I took some golden flax seeds, and they're in the seed form, and I went ahead and used my dry mix on my Vitamix container, and I blended it up to make a flax meal. I like to do it myself because I think that it's the freshest when we grind it ourselves. So I've got that right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and pour this into this. I hope this is a big enough bowl. We'll find out. Pour that right in there, and then we're gonna mix it with some water, and we're gonna let it sit for a few minutes to make a flax egg. It's a binder, and it's in place of an egg, which is pretty fantastic if you ask me. Oh, that seems to fit in there well, so let me move the water out of the way. And I'm just going to give it a little mix. Mix. Make sure we've got enough water in there. And then all you have to do once you blend the two together is just let it sit for like, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes. And it will thicken up, and it will just be just like an egg. I think I'm actually going to put a little bit more water in this. It just looks a little too thick to start, so let me just add a few more of these. There we go. That should improve things. Okay, so let me give it a minute here. I ran out of some bigger bowls, so I didn't have anything that I could mix it in, so I'm going a little slower in this bowl so that it doesn't really spill over. And you can just whisk it with a whisk like the one I have. If you don't have a whisk, you can just use a fork even. I just love a whisk though. I feel like it really blends things well. So that seems to be better. This is the right consistency, and I'm just gonna let it sit over here and let it do its thing. Magic. And let me clear this out of the way. And the next thing that we're going to do while that's gelling is we're going to take this bowl and we're going to add a lot of the dry ingredients. And I'm going to sift it. So if you have a sifter or anything like this, you just want to sift it to keep all of any little hard little, pieces that might be in some of the ingredients from going in there. And so I have some corn grits, otherwise known as polenta, and some brown rice flour. Now, I am adding the brown rice flour because I ran out of the polenta. So if you have enough polenta, you can just use the whole thing. And either way, that's a great substitute if you need one. And then I'm just gonna, see how quick that is? Just gonna hit it against my hand. Just sift it, sift. There we go, look at that. It's going right through. And then the next thing that we're gonna add is going to be some almond flour. Yes, because these are gluten-free. And so I like to make sure to use gluten-free ingredient. And this, look it doesn't seem like this is sifting through, so maybe the polenta is too large, but the brown rice got to go through, and so I'm going to call that good. And I'm going to do the same thing, though, with the almond flour. I just want to sift it. I didn't actually realize that polenta is too big to go through and be sifted. So that's a new thing I just learned with you. So if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell, and then you'll be notified when I go live or post new videos. And give this a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. If you've already subscribed, well, thank you so, so much. I truly appreciate it. And if you've made this or you have any comments or questions, go ahead and post them below in the comment area, and I will get back to you, and we can chat a little bit. And you know what? This seems to be going super slow as well. So, I don't know. I just dumped it. So I guess, what did we learn? Brown rice flour is the one that we need to sift, and the others maybe not so much, and that's okay. So we've got it all in here together, and then I also want to add some baking soda and baking powder. It's pre-measured. No, I'm not going to try to sift those. You silly. Okay. And I'm just going to kind of move stuff out of the way so that I see what we have. Oh, and then for a sweetener, I'm going to use my newfound favorite, date sugar, which isn't sugar at all. It's dehydrated dates.
What?
I know. I just can't get over how amazing that is. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. And then I'm just going to kind of mix it a little bit here. Now, I don't know if you heard, but there was a beeping sound, and that is my preheated oven. I went ahead and preheated it. Go ahead and do 375. My oven isn't calibrating correctly, so I put it at 380, but 375 will be great. And then I'm going to be using the muffin tin. Well, it's not a tin at all, but it's a silicone muffin container here to cook them in once we get everything incorporated. So now you see we have it all incorporated. I'm going to set this over here until we're ready for it. And then the next thing I'm going to do is take a look at our flax egg. How is it looking? Let's look together. See, yes, look at that. It's really, really doing a nice job. I'd say it's ready. So what I want to do is just incorporate a couple of things in a separate bowl, which is going to be our flax egg. Look at that. Love it, love it, love it. And then I'm going to use applesauce. Now, I usually like homemade applesauce. Guess what? I'm out. So I buy these sometimes as a quick backup. These are little organic applesauce, like snack size thing. They usually come 6 in a container, and they measure exactly half a cup. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm doubling this recipe right now, so I'm going to need 2 of them. But if you're just doing a single recipe, you would only need 1 of these, or you can just measure out some homemade applesauce or jar applesauce. Just make sure that it doesn't have any sugar, or any sugar, salt, oil. I mean, I can't imagine it having those in it. I can't imagine it having sugar, but you never know anymore. So just check and make sure that it's only applesauce. All right, so there we go. And now I'm just going to go ahead and incorporate these 2 things together. Isn't that nice? Looks good. And then, oh, it smells so good. There's nothing like apples or applesauce or the flavor or the scent, I should say, of apples. If you ask me, it's so delicious. So you can use almond milk or any plant milk you want. If you've been watching me for a while, you know I tend to use soy milk, but I'm going to go ahead and start pouring in the soy milk into the wet and just kind of incorporate it until we have all of this mixed in. And again, I'm doubling the recipe, and then we're good to go. And what are we going to do? We're going to put the wet in the dry, and then we'll be almost ready. It's a super simple, easy recipe. Doesn't take up much time once you have your ingredients together. And so I'm going to go ahead and pour this in. You know, I like to pour it in a little bit at a time and just incorporate it slowly. And I'm going to use, you could use a spoon, but I'm going to use the spatula and just see how this does here. There we go. Nice. And I'm going to just continue to pour some of this in. Do it in like thirds. And I think corn muffins are really good. They're not too sweet. You can use them, you know, by themselves or as a condiment or to dip if you know, or have like next to a chili or any kind of hearty soups. I think it's really great. And so we're going to go ahead and add the rest in here. And if you know me, what do I like to do? Get every last drop. So I like to just continue to use my tools to get every last drop. Spatula is great. All right, and so now I'm just going to continue to blend this up. I love doing this by hand because I can continue to work on my strength and build muscle, and any opportunity that I have, I like to use it because we want to keep ourselves healthy, strong, and able, right? We want to be able to do things for ourselves as long as possible. For the goal for me is for the rest of my life, right? So there you go. This looks perfect. Look at this. Yay! I'm really excited about it. I'm just going to do a couple more spins here. And then I have the last thing we want to add, and this is frozen organic sweet corn. I poured it in here. It's not completely thawed. I could still see and feel that it's cold, but if you get a chance to thaw it, that's great. If you have fresh corn and you want to cut it off the cob, perfect as well. I tend to still like to just use the organic, but you do what works for you. And so I'm just going to put that in there. And you know, you can make it without corn, but I mean, it's called cornbread muffin. It's got the word corn in it. So I think it's important to have the whole food and nothing but the whole food in the ingredients. So that's why we're doing this. And then I just want to gently kind of, you know, just, you can even turn it. You don't have to get crazy and stir it. And I think we're good. And now, guess what time it is? It's showtime! We're gonna fill this guy, and this is our superstar once it's filled with our muffins. And so I'm gonna go ahead and get my last tool that I love, which is my melon baller. And I'm gonna use the big melon baller, and I'm going to be just filling this in here. And I'm hoping that I stirred it and incorporate it well enough so that we have corn going throughout and everything is nice. And if because I doubled it, it might take 2 pans to do all of this, but I only have 1, and that's okay. If I have to do 2 rounds, I will, but I think it'll turn out great. And this is filling with 2 scoops in each little muffin cup thing here. So if that just gives you an idea. And I have a couple different melon ballers. This one is the larger of the 2 that I have. And so if you have them, if you don't have a melon baller, I just love them, right? They're simple and easy. Look at this. You can always use just a regular spoon, you know, and just kind of scrape it off with your clean finger. And that's it. Look at this. And so I am taking this today to a gathering and hoping that everybody enjoys it. It's a group of people that I met at a potluck, and we get together for potlucks, but one of them decided to do like a gathering, but kind of everybody bring a dish, a specific dish, so that we can all have one giant meal and we kind of know. So there's going to be a soup there and a salad, and I'm going to bring these, and I have some homemade crackers that I'm going to bring, And what else am I gonna bring? Myself, of course. And then I think there's gonna be a dessert. And so the rest we'll figure out when we get there. And yes, look it's not gonna fill it all the way, and that's okay. So I will be able to fill it twice. I wanted to have plenty, and here you go. So let's just take a look here. Maybe I'll just put a little bit more in this one. Just wanna make sure they're all filled nicely. Just check and make sure they're even. If one needs a little more, we have it, so go ahead and add it. Look at that, isn't that pretty? Yay. And then we're just gonna cook it for 20 minutes. I always say check it about the halfway mark. Just make sure if your oven is cooking, you know, a little uneven, take it out, rotate it, put it back in for the rest, and then we're gonna use a toothpick to make sure that the toothpick comes out clean when we poke it in there, and that will tell us that it's ready. And so something I always like to do with this type of pan especially is just give it a little bit of a stomp. And if there are any like air bubbles, it will come up. So let me stick this in the oven. Ooh, these look good. Oh my goodness, look. Wow. Okay. I should probably put this thing on there first. Let me just do that. Oh my gosh, look at that. Doesn't that look good? Okay, but we've got to just check, right? How do we check? We're gonna go ahead and poke it with a clean toothpick. I just want to kind of insert it all the way in and then see if it comes out clean. And for the most part it did. Yay! So what I want to do, because this is really hot, is go ahead and try to get these popped out and put them here so that they can cool, and then I can continue on. And how I do it is I just go underneath and I just kind of pop them up. Is it better if you wait till it cools? Of course it is. But I'm always trying to get things to go faster. Maybe what I'll do is I'll use my hand on this one. Look at that. Oh my goodness, isn't that pretty? Yay. That's what I love about these silicone baking dishes, that, you know, for the most part, it doesn't really stick. There's a little tiny bit on this one that did. But I mean, look at that. That's pretty good. So and it cools pretty quickly, but I just want to make sure that, look at that. Look at that. So I'm just pushing it from underneath. It's, you know, if you give it 5-10 minutes, it's probably better than the way I'm doing it. But, you know, if you don't have time, I mean, of course they are holding and they look great, don't they? Okay, and here they are, ready to go. So, yes, I'm going to try one with you, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the rest in there and take the rest with me. So I'm going to just cut this one in half. Oh my goodness, look at inside. Look at that. Pretty. All right, here we go. That is really good. It is not sweet. Like, I don't really taste the date sugar in there. So if you like something sweeter, you might want to add a little bit more date sugar, but I think it's great. And so there you go. So I hope this inspires you to try something new or share something that's simple and delicious and wholesome and healthy for you. And don't forget to eat your greens. And please give plants a chance. And we'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone. Bye for now. Good.